You know, the downside to the internet is the fact that you can find anything on the internet. And by find anything on the internet, I mean, if you're looking for something specific, you're going to find it, even if it's not real. Sometimes it is real, obviously, but I've noticed there seems to be kind of an uptick in COVID era, like fear mongering going on lately on social media, especially YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, most of those kind of things. And it's kind of getting old. And I don't really know how else to phrase that besides it's kind of getting old. And it's very hard to tell what's real anymore because AI is so incredibly good at faking the shit out of everything that you'll see something, think it's real, and get all, worried about it or whatever else, only to find out, no, it wasn't real. It's AI, it's deepfake, it's whatever the right words are for that. And now you have to take literally everything you see and hear with a grain of salt. You've always kind of sort of had to do it, especially with like the news, mainstream media, even on social media or whatnot. But now there are people out there who will purposefully make very fake things in order to be seen, get views, get paid, get whatever. And it's like, why? Like, as a content creator, which I still don't ever consider myself that, although technically I am creating something to put up here, I don't consider myself a content creator because I'm not out there doing vlogs and editing and all these other things. I'm just a chick with a camera and a microphone who sits down and talks to you guys about things that I see, I hear, I think, whatever, right? And what's going on in the world. And so one of the things that drives me bonkers is that you have so many people who are willing to do anything for views, anything to make the money. I don't know what happened to morals. I think that's the problem here. Over the last couple of years, I swear it feels like morals have become this foreign thing that people don't understand, don't know what it is, don't know what they are. And heaven forbid they exude a little bit of morality. Is that the right way to phrase that? When it comes to certain situations. So if you've been here before on SquirrelTribe, you guys know that I talked about the East Palestine, Ohio, Norfolk Southern train derailment that occurred a couple years ago, right? We were all over it. Like, we talked about it all the time. I brought you all the information. We did a breakdown of everything that occurred. We did a breakdown of who actually released the chemicals from that train into the ground in East Palestine, Ohio. We did a breakdown on who actually set them on fire and where the blame actually lies with all of it. And we've talked about it since then, what's been going on in East Palestine, Ohio and surrounding areas, because it wasn't just East Palestine that was affected. Right? So then I get tagged in this video on X. Now, it is very realistic, but I have searched left, right, up, and down to find if this is real or not. And I have not been able to find where this is a real video, but I want to play it for you. And the reason why it is disturbing is because obviously somebody made this for TikTok to go viral, but it really messes with your emotions, especially if you were either impacted by East Palestine, Ohio, the train derailment and the subsequent lighting of chemicals on fire, right? That, I mean, it destroyed a lot of things. The health for people in numerous surrounding states is kind of up in the air at this point, no pun intended, because of the big plume of smoke that went up and then dispersed out and then had to come down, because what goes up must come down, right? All of these chemicals that went up into the air fell down all over people's homes, their bodies, their cars, their whatever. This is still a very touchy subject for a lot of people. And this is still something that's being paid out by Norfolk Southern. This is still something that's being looked at by the EPA, by the CDC, all these different people and places and things. So this isn't something that I think should be joked about or taken lightly or anything like that. And yet somehow there's this video. And I'm going to show it to you and I want you guys to hear it. And when I saw it, my first thought was, holy shit. And that's exactly my first thought. We're not going to try to pretend like it wasn't. My first thought was, holy shit. Did Donald Trump really just say this? Is the president really going to execute somebody over what happened in East Palestine, Ohio? My brain, like the smart part of my brain is going, listen, President Trump is pretty vocal in the way he sees things and thinks about things and whatever. And he doesn't really have a filter, which is something a lot of people like, something a lot of people don't like. I think it's kind of 50-50 depending on the situation or what he's saying or who he's talking about or what he's talking about. But this one here, hearing the president say that he was going to execute people for East Palestine, Ohio, I was like, oh, that feels a little far. That feels like we've gone a little too far. And sure enough, let me play this for you so you guys can hear exactly what happened here. And hello, come back. According to this person, they go, Trump just said the quiet part out loud. Now, here's the thing. I really don't want this person's TikTok being shown because I don't think this is real, and I can't find anything that shows that it's real, but I'm going to let you guys watch this and hear it, and we'll go from there, okay? Listen.
He might have AIDS, who knows? But back to the matter at hand. East Palestine, Ohio. It was the largest environmental terror attack in world history, and it was an inside job. My administration and I will be opening a full investigation, and when we find out who is responsible, either directly or indirectly, those people, those awful, awful individuals will be facing the death penalty.
So I was like, OMG, how did I miss that? How am I not being tagged in this 8,000 different times? Because a lot of people know I talked about East Palestine, Ohio. This stuff was shared all over social media, whether it's TikTok, YouTube, it was in a couple news articles, it was on Rumble, all over the place, because not many people were talking about it when it happened. And I was like, there's something wrong here, right? And I talked about it a lot. So I had to go try to find this original clip or whatever of President Trump having this conversation while JD Vance stands there. And first I'm like, who is he talking about with AIDS? Number one, like, that's weird. But then the whole death penalty thing. So I these are the questions I asked. I went to Grok. Listen, ChatGPT, Grok, all these different things. Obviously, they are based off of what they find on the internet. Sometimes there is that little caveat of it could be wrong. But this one is a very easy to prove or disprove kind of thing. And I looked everywhere and could not find any other reference to this being a real comment from President Trump. So I asked Grok, I said, did President Trump say East Palestine was an inside terror attack? Okay, because that was how I wanted. That's the part that stuck with me. Inside job terror attack, right? Okay. So he said, there is no credible evidence that President Trump said the East Palestine, Ohio train derailment was an inside terror attack. The February 3rd, 2023 incident was a mechanical failure involving a Norfolk Southern freight train leading to a chemical spill and controlled burn. Which already the way Grok is phrasing this, I'm like, well, not technically. You're already slightly incorrect there because it wasn't a chemical spill. No chemicals spilled off the East Palestine, Ohio, Norfolk Southern train derailment train. Nothing spilled. That shit was intentionally released by Mike DeWine and the fire department chief, which I don't remember his name, which I should because that's on him. And Governor Mike DeWine at the time for everything that happened afterwards. So there was no chemical spill. There was a chemical release and then controlled burn. You can't have a controlled burn in a wide open area like that. It's anyway, counterproductive. So it says here, posts on X have claimed Trump called it an environmental terror attack or inside job, but these claims lack verification from reliable sources. During his visit to East Palestine on February 22nd, 2023, because remember, Donald Trump, non-president at the time, went to East Palestine after this occurred, while Joe Biden, president at the time, didn't go for over a year afterwards, okay? It says here, President Trump focused on criticizing the Biden administration's response and providing branded water with no recorded statements labeling the event as a terror attack, always cross-check, blah, 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 blah. What I find interesting here is that although X, formerly Twitter, is owned by Elon Musk, who is clearly a Trump supporter and part of Doge and everything else, the algorithm or the basics of X still seem to be rather left-leaning for it to pull out of everything it could have said, for it to say Trump focused on criticizing the Biden administration's response. Could have said literally anything else. Could have said Trump was there when Joe Biden wasn't. Could have gone that route, but it still found a way to paint Trump in a negative light and talk about him criticizing the president at the time. And I just find that very, very interesting. So then I asked Grok differently. I said, okay, let's try this a different way. I said, is there any proof that a video of Trump saying East Palestine inside job would get death penalty is real? I have to figure out how to phrase these questions to Grok because I don't really know exactly how you're supposed to ask the question. So I just kind of jumble a bunch of words together. And it says here, no credible evidence supports the existence of a video where Donald Trump claims the East Palestine, Ohio train derailment was an inside job or mentions the death penalty in connection to it. It says posts on X and various claims have referenced such a video, but fact-checking sources, and then it names a couple, says confirm these are likely AI-generated deepfakes or manipulated content. No legitimate news outlets, such as CNN, they put CNN first, or Fox News, report Trump making these statements. The February 2023 derailment was attributed to mechanical failure, and Trump's documented comments during his visit focused on criticizing the Biden administration's response, not alleging a conspiracy or calling for capital punishment. And then it says, always verify your claims. So again, I cannot find any video from or anything on like whitehouse.gov or anywhere else where it says that Trump talked about East Palestine, Ohio in that sense. If I have somehow missed it, somebody here watching this, please send it to me, because I can't find it anywhere besides this person's TikTok. And that to me says that that person who made that TikTok is absolute trash if that's the way they're going to go about trying to get views based off East Palestine, Ohio. So then on top of that, I got tagged in another, if you don't watch this lady on YouTube from Georgia who does these house tours, that made absolutely no sense. She's just funny to me. Inside joke, my bad. Let's keep moving. I got tagged in another thing on X. And I love the fact that people tag me and everything. I absolutely love it. I check out every single thing that I am tagged in because there could be credibility to these things. And I'm always curious, like, what's what, right? So I got tagged in this one thing about Oprah. And half the time I'm like, I'm pretty sure Oprah's trash, right? So I get tagged in this thing about Oprah. And it says, it's this one here. I'm just going to show it to you, whatever. It said Oprah Winfrey's Coats for Kids charity is under the Doge microscope after auditors found that out of a $300 million grant, and then it says UDAID as opposed to USAID. It says the charity had only purchased about 100 coats. And then this is a quote in this thing. It says, those are some expensive coats, said Doge auditor Joe Barron. We figure about $1 million each. Looks like Oprah has some explaining to do. So then I was like, has Doge actually called out numerous celebrities or anything like this? So of course, I do a little bit more digging, trying to find out what's what. And according to what I have been able to find, there's not even a charity called the coat one. Hold on, let me see if I can. I lost my spot. Please hold. All right, I got it. So claims circulating on X, which is where these things have originated about Oprah Winfrey and her Coats for Kids. It says these things, the charity that they're saying, Coats for Kids, misused a $300 million USAID grant purchasing only 100 coats, is based on a supposed audit by Doge, obviously Department of Government Efficiency. However, these claims are false. No such charity exists, number one, and the story originated from the satirical Dunning-Kruger Times. The Doge auditor Joe Barron is also fictional. There is no Joe Barron at Doge. Reuters and Snopes have debunked this narrative. Oprah's actual philanthropy? It's philanthropy, but philanthropical, right? Like, why are we putting different emphasis on different spots? Anyway, Oprah's actual philanthropy includes the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls and other initiatives with no evidence of such a fraudulent coat charity. So again, as much as we want to believe all of these things that are coming out, we have got to make sure we are not being bamboozled, not the right word. I've used that one already. I can't think of the right word though, but don't fall for shit. That's what it comes down to. Don't fall for shit. Like, you got to sit there and step back from literally everything that you're seeing and hearing right now on social media and go, what are the odds? Really, really think about it, really dig into it. And that's on YouTube as well. There are plenty of people on YouTube who will blow smoke straight up your ass in order to watch it come out your ears, because then they know that you're going to share it, you're going to talk about it, they're going to get more views, they're going to get paid. Don't do it. Don't be that person. If you're a content creator, don't be that person. If something is real and you really want to talk about it, but don't like lie to people. That's like it's absolute trash in my personal opinion. But you have to be cognizant that what you're seeing a lot of times, especially right now, especially against Donald Trump, President Trump, a lot of the fake stuff that is out there, half of it is made to make him look absolutely amazing. The other half is made to make him look as dumb as humanly possible. You can't just believe everything. And it used to be you could trust people to tell you the truth, to not give you false information, to really let you know what was going on, because they wanted you to be informed, they wanted you to be educated, they wanted you to know everything that was happening so that you could either feel secure, feel safe, or feel whatever feeling you needed to have about the situation. And now, thanks to technology, although technology is great, I don't know how many of us would live without it, but thanks to it, we're also getting played like a bunch of fools all the time. So you got to be real careful with everything that you see. So when it comes to these TikTok videos or any videos that you're seeing on social media, please, 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 grain of salt, all of it. Even the little memes, the posts. even words that are posted or conversations that you just have to be careful. I don't even, like, I tell you guys all the time, even with the stuff that I bring you, do your own damn research. Like, I'm trying to bring you everything accurately, but there's always the possibility that I will miss something or I will misspeak. I will, generally speaking, unless somebody else can get to it before me, I will tell you when I am wrong on stuff. And I wanted to be wrong on this East Palestine, Ohio thing. I really did. I was like, good. Hold them little mofos accountable for what happened in East Palestine, Ohio. But you know who he has to hold accountable if this was real? Mike DeWine and the fire chief at the time, because those two are the ones who work together. The EPA did not say yes on leaking out the materials. The EPA did not say yes that it's on fire. Norfolk Southern did not give the approval. This was Governor Mike DeWine and the fire chief at the time. And that needs to always be remembered, that the way they phrased this thing for East Palestine, Ohio, when they tried to tell everybody that it was a chemical spill, no, it wasn't. They released those chemicals on purpose. That it was a controlled burn, no, it wasn't, because that shit went over numerous states. There was no control there. It went into the waterways, it went into the soil, it went into the air. There's no control there. So again, they want to change the narratives. That way it makes them look better. But there's a lot of stuff still coming out about the Norfolk Southern, East Palestine, Ohio catastrophe. The money issues are huge right now. I can talk to you guys about that a little bit later if you'd like. But again, just be cognizant of the fact that right now it feels like they're trying to scare us the way they scared us during COVID. They're going to tell you that the shelves are empty. No, the fuck they're not. Go look at your grocery stores. There's plenty of shit everywhere. If there happens to be something missing because of Trump's tariffs, you probably didn't need it to begin with. Find something that's made here in the U.S. that will take over its place. You'll be fine. You will live. We have way too much crap in this country to begin with. Way too many options on the shelf. We don't need probably 80% of the crap that's all in the stores, whether it's at a grocery store or a Walmart or, whatever the crap else, Nike. We don't need any of that stuff. We've just been conditioned to think we do, because how else are they going to get our money? Huh? Right? Anyway, Squirrel Tribe, I love y'all. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. I'll probably see you again. I got like so many things I want to talk to y'all about, just randomly. So thanks for letting me have random conversations with you. And I'd love to know your thoughts and feelings and opinions on all of it. Good, bad, ugly, whatever. FYI, I don't delete comments. I see comments all the time like, oh, you deleted my comment. No, I didn't. Sometimes YouTube deletes them on its own. Sometimes YouTube doesn't let it through. Sometimes whatever you put out there, I mean, if you're a raging dick to somebody, yeah, I'm going to delete you because we're not here for that. But generally speaking, your opinion is your opinion. Let it loose. Just you have to be mindful of how you phrase things so that YouTube will let it go, right? Anyway, that's it. Love y'all. Goodbye.